So, like, you live right there?
No. I grew up within eyesight of that.
So Joe's doing this for me because I missed the sign.
It's a little town.
He's breaking the law for me.
I always noticed Tana always told everybody to own the town because you can do anything you want here. There's no law in the town. What is it? Almost
Rose Creek.
Almost 400 people now.
This is Rose Creek. We're gonna go to Landherr Lane.
We are on Maple Street right now.
No kidding.
The town is on our left. Country is on our right. Technically, I'm on 170th Street, but seeing how they have a Maple Street sign across the street, that's what I go by.
So this is you, huh?
That's me.
You're on Maple Street.
Yep.
You're kidding me.
Nope. Oh, they dropped the steel off. We're doing construction, Nate.
So Joe doesn't have enough going on. He's got the bird dogs. He's breeding the dogs. Got some rental properties. Working at in the tool and die room today. Picking me up at the airport. Getting spouts made. And now he's a general contractor. Add to the list.
Bring your work gloves, Nate?
No, I don't work. I got baby soft skin. What do you got here? You adding on?
Finishing up.
Wow. So this is it, buddy.
Okay. 2 years ago, there was no cement in here. Last year, when we went to Massachusetts for the convention, when I came home, the west stall was done with cement. It was completely empty, and the Smoky Lake evaporator was sitting in the door on November 1st.
Jeez.
And we started making syrup the 1st of February.
Yeah, I tell you, you remind me of me.
Well, now you know what you're going to look like in 15 years.
That's right. I hope I'm as skinny as you, though.
I never used to be. I used to be a 220 pounder.
Really?
Yep.
Now you're moving.
That road food is horrible.
It is.
It is.
If I was 220 pounds, I'd look sick.
I was watching all those guys in those ethanol plants with the big bellies, and they're limping, you know, and you're carrying a lot of extra weight that...
Ethanol?
Well, yeah.
Oh, out like corn processing?
Yeah, for 5 years I maintained ethanol plants.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so we were up and down, carrying food all over.
So what are you doing here?
Well, we insulated the walls this summer. They're all spray foamed. My plan is to get the ceiling insulated before sugar making. So the steel just came today. That's got to get up there. Vapor barrier. And yeah, once I get that done, I call the insulator. He's going to come blow it in.
So are you putting this up like a ceiling, like a white ceiling, like just right across the...
The whole thing, this whole building will be white.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Well, let's take a look.
Spray foam. Welcome to the sugar house.
All right. So this is your Smoky Lake wood-fired evaporator.
You bet. With the brass touches.
Is that something you put on, or did he put them on? That's cool. Brass handle.
I figured brass legs. You're going to have everything.
Look at that. You got brass feet.
Yep. We're going to upgrade everything.
Nice.
You know?
This is a smart thing, this little sight glass.
Oh, I love that with Smoky.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so nice.
So is this what they call, like, tell me about the evaporator. Like,
This is a Corsair evaporator. Race flue. The nice thing about it is the finishing pan finishes where you're hot. So there's a big tube that takes your flue pan and brings it into the front of the finishing pan. There's 3 flows here, and we draw off right here.
I got you. So it's not reversible, though.
No. The pan you can flip. This
I
pan
got you.
can flip. And this is the one
That makes sense. Just
Yeah.
flip the pan around, and now you reversed it.
Yeah, you're getting most of your niter in this one.
How many years you had this?
This is
This will be season number 3?
number 2.
Number 2. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it looks pretty new.
And let me tell you,
I've never seen a Smoky Lake up
it
front.
runs so nice. It is with that draw off in the middle there. It's just the easiest thing to run.
So you don't have the blower,
No blower.
but this is a raised flue. You have a preheater, I'm thinking.
No. Here's the coolest thing.
What is that?
How do you get your pan off?
What's that?
How do you get your pan off?
Oh, yeah. Crank it right down there. Smart.
We just raise that hood up on that telescope.
Where'd you get them powder-coated pieces of metal?
Where I work.
They powder-coated that for you, didn't they?
Yep. And
Cool.
then when you want to get your pan off, you just come over and get your pan handler.
Panhandler. So it just picks it up, huh?
I had an H2O for 5 years, and I was dragging it off the flue pan so I could clean it,
Sure.
and it's not good on a pan.
Okay, I see. That'll pull your pan off.
Any younger, and this thing holds a bunch of liquid.
Do you pull it off with liquid in it?
Yeah. I'll drain it to the flues.
I see. You got a groove on each side there.
A groove on each side.
I got you. So this is your pan lifter.
Panhandler.
Well, you're one of those maple farmers that cleans your pans?
I clean my pan after every cook.
Wow.
It comes off of here and gets cleaned. I clean that. We're a little too far over. I clean that.
You need to move over this way?
Yeah.
It's your wood.
It's my check off or my. There. I'll just crank her up.
Nice. Oh, you got a float box over here.
Oh, yeah. 800 apart for me.
We'll just go higher. You don't have to. Oh, wow. It just comes right off there. See these flues in here.
Yeah, I was just trying to.
Nice. So they're square.
Yeah, this is.
Square flues.
It's a good fluid.
So, like, what's your evaporation? Like, how much syrup are you making an hour? That's a better question.
I think we can make 5 gallons an hour.
And do you have an RO?
Yeah. So this is all different. This rack wasn't here. I had a wooden rack to put my feed tank on.
Okay.
And then this was built into the back. I had a temporary wall here
To keep it heated?
to keep it heated.
Okay.
So this is my RO cabinet. The RO's at home in the garage where it's heated.
So what do you use for your RO?
I have a liter.
Is it a micro 1 or a micro 2?
2.
Oh, wow.
And I really like that. So normally I collect about 500-600 gallons right at dark. And I'll bring it in this tank.
Do you pump it through the window?
I got it right over here. I wanted to have it something
Oh, it's nice and permanent.
where I can hook up.
I got you.
Factory, right?
I like it.
Nothing better than to bring 600 gallons of
You
sap. hook
Pre-filter it there.
up, pump it up. Goes into the stainless tank. Last year that was plastic, and I'm trying to get better.
Gotcha.
This is for permate.
Gotcha.
And then after it goes through the RO, we'll run it over the hill up into that 300-gallon bulk tank.
So who helps you over here?
How many what?
Who's helping you when you're doing all this?
Just me. My wife will come when I ask her.
Wait. You're doing all the collecting,
Yeah.
all the boiling,
Yeah.
in your free time.
They let me take days off of work.
Okay.
When I'm cooking, I tell my boss, Mike, that, hey, I got to be gone. He said, no problem.
I got you. Oh, is this a Bronco?
We just put this wood stove in. I'm going to put a wood source heat in. I bought that used.
It's not a Bronco.
I don't know much about wood stoves. My brother.
I like these things, dude.
Is that a good one?
I don't know the brand, but you can definitely put them in your basement and heat your house with them if you have the.
Yeah.
My father-in-law was always a fan of those.
Yeah. It's like you say, though, wood doesn't really save you money.
No, but it's. I see you got a lot of it. I'm gonna go look at Joe's.
Yeah. With me.
Let's look at. It's got a firewood business too. Why not? Why not?
Couple thousand bundles. I'm really low on.
So you got a solar panel.
Yeah, it's, one of my sugar bushes is solar operated, so I just have this to maintain my batteries all summer.
I got you.
And then they're on a trickle charger.
So I see you got some totes.
Yep.
Where's your bundler? I see you probably got a bundler over here.
Bundler's over here.
Homemade bundler.
Homemade bundler. This is my bundling.
It's ergonomic. Well, this is a nice one.
My bundling station.
Look at this. You even got your little counter
Yeah.
balance.
We put handles on them.
Okay.
You know, you gotta be better.
So do you have a firewood, like a little route?
I have 7 or 8 different gas stations.
And then in your spare time.
They call me. I deliver. I have one in Albert Lee. It's kind of nice to go deliver on my new hour.
So this is a nice little rig here.
Yeah,
Is this a brand name or did you make it?
I made it.
You stick it in there and then.
Yep. Get 5 wraps around it. I don't have power out here now.
Sure.
And then you gotta have the air out here. Normally what I do is I fill 6 of these trays.
Nice. You got a little bundler set up here.
Yep.
Stick it right in.
Stick it right in there. And then usually what happens after I make 6 of them and I get them in the truck, the dog's got to have a tennis ball throwing.
I got you.
So I'll throw a tennis ball. And then they're happy for a little while. Hey, have you ever seen one of these, Nate?
What do you got? A sawhorse?
Yeah, have you ever seen a sawhorse?
What do you got?
All right. I'm going to have to
this?
go get the chainsaw and show you.
What's that for?
This is a sawhorse. Don't you think sawhorses should saw? Stay tuned.
All right, so I saw the 400C, so he's going to get the steel. There you go. Now, does OSHA come out and check your screws and make sure all this wood's not rotten and stuff for safety?
Well, I would like to have a big piece of plywood here with just a hole in it.
I did not see that coming. I thought for sure your saw was going to move up and down. So that's how you get your lengths.
Yeah. This is
You go from here to here.
Yeah, this is set up for bundled firewood. The length of that is fussy. I try to make that plus or minus an inch, so when I go to bundle, I don't have trouble.
I got you.
But when I do evaporator wood, I cut a little shorter.
I got you.
And then this is all free wood from work.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, not all of it, but this pallet
I
here.
love your extension cords. Look at those extension cords. You're such a sugar maker.
Well, that's that sugar bush we're gonna go look at. Hopefully, when the fog lifts.
Sure.
Yeah, I gotta roll them out.
It smells good.
Don't it?
Yeah. So you got a firewood business, and you're doing maple,
The storage.
breeding labs.
Do you see? I got a walk-in cooler I ran out.
I saw there's a cooler in there. It was on the back of a truck.
It's on a trailer.
I got you. What's that
Keg
for? Oh,
Or butcher parties.
I got
Year of
you.
COVID, it was busy every weekend.
Wow.
Either chickens or hogs or beef. Yeah.
Just because guys had to have refrigeration.
You know.
So this is I suffer with this too. Already, Joe? So I suffer with this, and Joe does as well. You know what makes a good business?
No, what?
The ability to say no to a lot of things and do one thing really well. So I suffer with this myself. So, every sponsor in AA is recovering themselves. So I can see myself and all of the different businesses, and actually, good businesses are boring. That's why Joe and I have to have people that come in behind us and actually do the work. Because we'll start it. And then you're left there.
My wife's gonna love you.
Yeah, she's probably the one running that saw, if we're honest. All right, tell me about your mobile freezer cooler business.
So first of all, I'm a bow hunter. And our season starts here the 15th of September. And I'm a warm weather person, so I would go. And if you shoot a deer on the 15th of September, it can be 70.
It's true.
And I like quality meat. And this came for sale at McDonald's. They remodeled the McDonald's in, probably the mid-'80s. And this was for sale on a pallet for $400 with 2 compressors, the condensers, everything.
So you've had this a while.
It sat in my brother-in-law's shed for about 8 years.
But you said this is from the 80s.
Yeah.
This is as old as I am.
And then I decided, there was a baseball team that was going to come play in Austin, and they wanted a concession stand. They needed a cooler. And he came to me, so I quick got it on a trailer. Meanwhile, he bought his own one. But
I see you got tap handles on them.
it's
This is for the Wisconsin, Minnesota games, probably.
town celebrations. I've rented out.
I got you.
It'll hold 80 kegs of beer, and it's got enough axle under it where you can travel.
I got you.
You know?
All right.
Oh, it'll hold 40 kegs of beer and travel.
Huh.
And then we use it for butchers. That's what it's. mainly. So.
I got you.
And you know what else? I store my syrup in there at the end of the year when it gets warm.
I got you.
And then I also use it to heat my jars for bottling.
Oh, you put a little make it a hot box.
Yeah, I'll put 100 cases in there, and I'll put the heater in there for 3 days. And then every time we go to...
Then the glass will be warm.
Yeah, the glass will be warm. Especially when we're bottling. See, we don't have heat in here, so sometimes it's 45 degrees when we're bottling. For the first 25 years, this place paid for itself. I hit a point in my life, I'd lived very frugally for a long time. And I just decided, you know what? I really love making maple syrup. I've been out in the world and I've met a bunch of maple syrup makers that it's a different scale than me. But I'm going to do what I like for the rest of my life.
And you're enjoying it.
Maple's what I like.
Dude, I'm having fun just thinking about you having fun.
You know what I really enjoy? When I'm here boiling and I get to watch the school bus come over there and pick them kids up. There's something about that morning time when I'm in here all by myself. It's just the best. And I can't wait.
I love
60 days away.
Jeez. I don't even have an evaporator yet.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm gonna haul my sap up here.
What's that?
I said I'm gonna haul my sap up here. I don't even have a evaporator yet.
We need Bluetooth.
So if you're gonna have a maple operation with a good location, you want to be on a main road like this.
Yes.
Like he's right on the main road. Sugar house is there. I'm guessing you're hauling all your sap in.
Yeah.
Like you don't have it pumping
We
in.
got three-phase power right in this ditch.
Wow. So how many acres are on this lot right here?
We're just under 3, like 2 3/4.
And then the sap you're hauling. Where are you hauling sap from?
We're about 5-6 miles north of here, right north of the freeway.
Is it land that you're leasing? Is it family land? Is it your land?
It's land that me and the owner have an agreement with.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, they're not my trees.
Okay. But you have been tapping those trees for a while.
Yeah. For the first 20 years, it was on my buddy's place.
I got you.
And then when we broke up, I went to this other guy and got these trees. And it's actually changed hands since I did that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
How many acres are there? I want to see I want to see a sugar maple in Minnesota.
They're not that we won't find any here unless a man planted them. This is silver.
Oh, it's all silver? Okay.
Yeah.
Those sugars aren't up here, huh? They're further north?
Further north.
Yeah.
That's why I say I'm always lucky to be a sugar maker. So, yeah, I've lived a sheltered life. There's the Catholic church that I'm a part of.
Gotcha.
The parking lot used to be the elementary school.
Really?
I went there through 4th grade.
Right there?
Right there, yep.
Did you, was it a Catholic school?
Yeah. Well, no, it was public.
You still got a switch, I bet.
No, we
You didn't
didn't
get
have any
switched?
nuns. I had older brothers and sisters that told me that all the time. Now, there's the house I grew up in.
Which one?
That one right there. That tan one with the fake brick front.
What the heck's behind it? It's huge.
That's the garage.
No, the big.
Oh, that's
tall...
the elevator, the green elevator.
Okay, so it's a granary.
And right, you see that cement wall up there? That was the railroad track.
I got you.
There was another house there, in between us and them. There was another house in that vacant lot. Mm-hmm. That house is new. There was 2 houses here. The house on the corner is new, and there was another house on this corner.
Gotcha.
So what I'm telling you is I grew up on the south side of the tracks in the ghetto. Okay, until 3rd grade. And then my mom and dad built a new house on the north side of the tracks. And I lived there till I was 25.
Gotcha.
And my wife and I, before we were married, bought a house in town. And we've been living there ever since.
I got you.
So yeah,
Look at
the
this.
railroad track ran right here.
I got you. Look at the granary.
Yeah. And now our farmers' granaries are bigger than what used to be.
I got you.
These are tiny. This is basically a spraying hub now.
Moving the chemicals.
Yep, and spraying for the smaller farmers.
Gotcha.
We're in a unique situation because of Hormel. If I want to farm, I can go to the plant and get a 40-hour job, and then I can come home and try to farm 160 acres that my dad farmed or whatever.
Now, do you have 40s here like they do in Wisconsin? Is that Wisconsin? They buy land in like 40 acres.
Here you're gonna probably buy 80 or 160.
But they come in 40 acre, like, wow, it's so interesting.
When a 40 acre comes up, that's gonna go for way more money because it's less money.
I got
More
you.
money per acre.
I got you.
Where if you're buying 80, you got more.
I got you. It's less per acre.
Yeah.
I got you.
And land sells for 20 grand an acre here.
Is this your steel dealer right here? The guy that sells you your saws?
This is, yeah, that's the, oh, it really saddens me. That's the 4th generation hardware store that closed down.
Oh, this was a hardware store?
Yep, it was just amazing. And our little town has evaporated now. And I live right here.
And the blue house?
The blue garage is mine.
That's awesome.
And this house was built by the owner of that hardware store in 1949.
Wow.
And that was the best house in the town at the time because he was the richest man.
I got you.
He was the 2nd generation. The 4th guy's in there now with no hardware, just does mower and chainsaw.
So what's the tote out there for?
The tote is so that traffic don't drive on my property.
Oh, I got you. See a squirrel nest right there. See that squirrel nest? I see a squirrel nest. The pup dogs.
Hi, Louie. Hi, Louie. Like it?
I do. That's awesome.
You need to go to the bathroom?
I'm good. Outdoorsman much?
Yep. All the whitetails are bolt kills. All the hoofed animals are bolt kills.
Wow.
There you go.
Look at that, man. What do you got? So what is this?
This is what I did for a long time in my life. These are called metal stamping.
Huh.
This is how I learned to manufacture.
That's for like electronic things.
This is for diabetes. It's a shunt. The company makes 2 to 4 million of these every month.
Wow.
I got this job for them in like 2004.
No kidding.
Look at that one.
What the heck is this?
That's what's called a progressive die. And when it starts,
I got you.
it just does that, and as it goes, it comes out and it's all formed up in a curl like that.
So interesting.
It is. It was a lot of fun to do that. And then they make millions of parts that'll run on.
Yeah, you get fractions of a penny for each one.
Yeah, yeah. And they'll run at 150 parts a minute.
Jeez.
Like this got boxes and boxes of parts.
This looks like galvanneal.
Yep. How do you know about galvanneal?
Believe that?
That's like the most incredible material there is. It's just when you bend it, it stays where you bend it.
Galvanneal.
Yeah, that comes off a progressive die like that.
This one.
It's
It's a little different.
too.
This looks like galvanized.
Yep.
I don't know. What is this? Stainless?
Galvanneal.
Are they
Same
both?
stuff.
This
Yep.
one looks a little grayer.
Yeah, it's probably, well,
I used to sell the coatings that went on this.
oh, you did?
Yeah, I know a little
Oh, you've
bit.
been in the plants that do it? Mm-hmm. Where they got the big long drying tower or the cooling towers?
Yeah, man, I used to work in steel mills.
You did?
I was the dude.
Yeah.
I was the chemical guy.
And then there's some plastic. That's where I got my plastic. Them are all molds that I made as
No kidding.
prototypes. Yeah, there's a little spring action in there.
Huh.
That's a window operator, and then that would connect you to the window.
No kidding.
You know?
Yeah, this is interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably, shoot, Rojas compliant. You probably had to do
Yeah,
some Rojas
yeah.
compliant.
This is what my boss probably made all his money on. It's a Lindsay water
That's
softener.
irrigated.
It's zinc chromate
Yeah.
with yellow color on it. That is a timer plate. All them holes are like, the location are like plus or minus a half thou. And then 2 of them got stacked together and all the gears went in there. And that was water softener timer plates.
Oh, wow.
All mechanical. I imagine it's all digital now.
Probably.
You know-
Well, I think I was still mechanical. I hear him grinding away.
Yeah, because they got to keep the clock. They got to
What
keep.
about this guy?
Oh, that's an IBM part.
Well, yeah,
It's a
for the computer chest.
Yeah, covered
I know
up the
this
fan.
is Rojas compliant.
yeah, and
I probably sold the coating that went on this.
so I made the die to punch all them holes.
Huh. Well, that's pretty good tolerance.
Well, it's only punching a fourth of them, and then you move it around, and then you have to move that part 4 times.
I got you.
Otherwise, the holes are so close together they break.
I got you.
So you can only have every third or every
That's
other
interesting.
one.
I never would have thought of that.
Well, it's just the
It'll
first
take
time.
forever with a laser.
Yeah. You know, that tool probably took 5 weeks for me to make,
Wow.
but once it's done, it's
Then it just keeps the dust and stuff out of the computer chassis.
yeah.
It's for like heat sink and stuff.
Yeah.
Huh.
Sometimes they wanted a hexagon hole. Sometimes they wanted a square hole.
Those dad burn hexagon holes. To Brandy, talk to Jess. So what do you know? It's a maple video with some wind turbines.
Oh, we're full of them here.
Are you? Well, you got the wind, don't you?
Yep, we got the wind. And the other thing is we have the infrastructure. Over in Adams, it's the big transmission line that goes from St. Louis, Missouri up to the Twin Cities. And then that same transmission line has a T in it that goes up to Wisconsin, Dairyland Power. Yeah, good pheasant hunting ground right here. The little waterways.
It's crazy. I want to go pheasant hunting with you.
Oh, it's today's the last day.
Is it?
Yeah. Reschedule your flight. We can make it happen.
Running around with old Nate Bissell, you could be pheasant hunting.
Yep. 2 years ago, they sold this woods with a dilapidated house, and my wife and I thought about buying it. And it went for $115,000 plus the buyer premium.
Wow.
No well, no septic,
Nothing.
and a big mess to clean up. Coming up on my sugar bush. What is there, 500 or 550 taps in there, 2 collection points. The first side is the east side. We're on the north side of the sugar bush. This is where I collect. This first one's got about 150 taps on it. All 3/4 main, all 5/16 drops. We run that with a double diaphragm guzzler pump. So this side all drains to this corner. Now we're going to come up to the driveway, and then everything drains to the west on the other side.
And this is all silver maple.
All silver maples. Look how close they are.
Yeah.
Those taps are all in 2 acres.
Wow.
So this bush makes 150 gallons of syrup on 2 acres.
Wow.
So now all this is running to the west and to the north. And I tried...
You know you can get a tunnel boring machine. You can go have it all drop to the one side.
Right? I tried to do 3/16 tuid in here when I first started 7 years ago. And I got an education in a hurry.
Sure. You got squirrels here too, Joe?
Actually, no.
What?
Well, we're so isolated here.
So I guess if you kill them, there's...
Well, there's not a nut tree on this place. It's all box elder and maple. So
Gotcha.
the landlord loves them, and he'll come out and feed them in February, and there'll be a few.
Really? I'd feed them something. They're all a little low on lead.
Right. But actually, I don't have much trouble chewing.
You got some branches.
Oh, I know. I've been selling taps and not been out here. My landlord called and said, "Oh, you gonna make syrup this year?" I said, "Well, yeah." So that's the way I do it. So if a branch falls on it, can go to the ground. I've had too many main lines break. If you if you strap them up too good. Obviously, it needs some attention in here, but
You Midwest maple farmers, crying out loud. I don't think you got the slope you need, buddy. I'm no expert.
I have a 1/4 inch per foot.
Yeah, this is Midwest maple.
Yeah.
This has good slope.
Look how dense the trees are.
Oh yeah.
What's
a box elder look like? You got one in
box
there?
elder?
I'd be milling that baby up right there.
You see that one leaning out over the edge?
Yeah.
That's box elder.
Okay.
That's
It's a type of maple.
Yeah, it's a pretty big one for box elder.
Guys,
They get this.
didn't you make some box elder syrup?
My nephew did, and it's got a lot of butterscotch to it.
I got you.
When I retire, I'm gonna have a bucket route for the box elder in here.
Andy Humphrey was making some, or had somebody make it. I was interested in just trying it.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see it on the hill, and I stopped at the top of the hill.
Oh yeah, I see
I
this.
have expansion on the backside. I could probably get another 300 taps, but then I gotta get it over the hill somehow. So
I see a squirrel nest. They're not chewing though, huh?
hopefully they're froze out. Oh, there'll be some chews, Nate.
I got you. So you do have
But
squirrels.
it's not like the guys over in the east part where they have miles and miles of woods.
Yeah,
I mean, where's the squirrel going to come from here?
that's true. Pretty isolated. Tell me about what you're hunting out here.
So we have, traditionally this was excellent pheasant country because it has a lot of waterways. And with that waterway, you have sloughs and grassland. So when my dad, in the 50s and 60s, it was, well, I don't know, yeah, the pheasants were crazy here because we didn't farm so close to those ditches. We didn't have tile. Now the farmer has tiled the ground. You can get closer to the waterway. There's less grass, so
Gotcha.
there's less habitat.
So pheasants, what you're hunting typically?
Yeah.
I've seen pictures of your pheasant. I'll put it on there. The dogs love doing it, don't they?
Oh, they do. They just,
So the dogs are a big part of...
sometimes it's just more fun to watch the dogs than to shoot the birds.
So when I went quail hunting, there was one that would point them out and then one that would flush them. And it was usually a lab that would do the flushing.
Yeah.
So when you're hunting with 2 labs, who's pointing them?
They'll both do it.
Do they know where to find them? Like, do they have because I'm thinking like the bloodhounds, when we were quail hunting, they knew where to point.
Well, they'll be running.
Are they as good as a pointer?
Yes. They're covering ground, and once they find scent, then they follow that scent to its strongest place, and eventually they end at the bird. Now, depending on what the bird's doing, I went out the other day, it was foggy, so those birds will sit tight. They won't run. But when you have a really sunny, warm day, a pheasant will run a mile.
What's pheasant taste like? Is it gamier than chicken?
It's not gamey at all. It's really a white meat.
Okay.
Dry. There's no fat in it. So
Do you clean them and then eat them?
Yeah.
How long does it take you to clean a pheasant?
I can clean a pheasant in 2 minutes.
Really? I am so interested in this.
Yeah.
It's mostly the dogs. This is... Oh yeah, here's Joe. He's got his shells. He's got his shells in here. He's always ready to go.
You'd be surprised how many times I get out pheasant hunting and I'll shoot my gun, empty it, and oh my God, I only got 3 bullets left.
Don't miss.
I better start aiming.
Don't miss. So the pheasant hunting is pretty good out here still.
Yeah. And then see, I know
You know where they are.
I know all the landowners. I've lived here for 60 years.
Well, I noticed every plant we went to, you knew everybody.
That's the way. There's not a lot of people here, Nate.
Yeah.
These towns of 300. And when I was a little boy, the country around these towns would have 400 or 500 people. So that's why the Legion, when we have those chicken fries, there'd be so many people. But we don't have 4 dairies on a mile anymore.
I got you.
We have 4 dairies left. And
in the county? And they're big?
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
They can't survive without the migrant workers either.
You're right. You're absolutely right. We have a big dairy farmer that resides in my town, and he's an operator. And what I mean by that is he is a go-getter. He wants to know what's going on. So ever since I moved my sugar shack into Rose Creek 7 years ago, he'll come in one morning and see what's going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for the first 5 years, I was on gravel. He didn't stay long.
Yep.
Last year, I was on cement, and I had that new Smoky Lake. So they started asking questions. You want to know what the Smoky Lake cost? Because he's a farmer.
So you spent 10 grand on that 2x4?
Yep. Best money I ever spent. It's just a joy to run. Makes really good syrup. And yeah, so.
Oh, we've been here before.
Yep. I like making maple syrup. So.
Isn't it fun? So this is
where I got my start. My childhood friend, I told him I wanted to make maple. And he goes.
And this is, what's his name?
Todd.
So Todd was a childhood friend.
Yep.
Isn't he the guy that can he was like a fabricator? No, woodworker.
He's a cabinet maker of skills that are the finest in.
So you're that way with metal, he's that way with wood.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah. And this was our sugar.
This was your little sugar bush right here? This is where it all started.
Yep.
This is where TJ Wood started.
Yep.
Just think.
There you can see the sugar house with the freestanding chimney.
I see it.
It's all fire brick.
I see it.
No mortar.
So is this independent? Is this a new property owner? What's the deal?
Nope, he's doing it on his own.
Oh, okay. So this is Todd's place.
I wanted to get bigger and he didn't.
That's okay. It happens. That's what happened to me and my dad.
It's exactly. I'll just pull in there a little bit. So that sugar shack and the wood shed there,
so the metal is where the sugar shack.
Yeah, it's me and him we did the bundled firewood together.
I got you.
And that's our wood shed there.
You should just call him, right?
I know it.
You guys are being hardheads.
That's true.
That's too much time with a guy to not,
Yeah,
he could be gone tomorrow, and you know what? You'd feel bad.
You're right.
And the same for him.
You see,
Todd, you should call Joe, because he could be gone tomorrow, and you'd feel bad.
You see the leather?
Yeah.
I built that for him.
That's cool.
But I can't.
You said you did some fishing trips up in Canada with him?
Yeah, that was another reason. Our business was cutting into Todd's fishing time.
I got you. Well, this is the hard way to do syrup. I just want to let people know. Hold on. I'm going to tell people. The way that he's making syrup, because I did it, I'm just letting you know a 2x4 or a 2x6 with a wood-fired evaporator and hauling sap and like that's harder than 10,000 taps. Like it just is. Like the way you make syrup on 5,000 taps, 10,000 taps, you get a bigger. You'll spend less time boiling on 5,000 taps than you will with a 2x6. It takes longer. I don't know.
So the reason that we did this here for 20 years is because Todd and I were best friends all through high school, all through grade school. We did some incredible things that I won't share with you now. And when we grew up and got our jobs, we didn't see each other anymore. We'd go fishing once in a while together, but it wasn't enough time. So we developed this to be able to spend time together. And we really enjoyed this. And we both grew it. You know, we started out with 10 buckets. We ended with 300. Mm-hmm. And a lot of it was lifting. Yeah, we got easier and better. That's what syrup makers do. But it got to the point where it was cutting in on us fishing. And then we were selling firewood besides, you know.
So if Todd wanted to, I'm just going to help you out here, Todd. Bring your sap over to Joe's, and he'll boil it down way faster with the rig he's got, and then you guys can hang out again.
Right, but there's nothing better than
hanging out, running a fire.
Or starting your night evaporation, go into the house, and you know that's going to be running in the morning. You got to come out and load it. Yeah, that was our deal. We'd get here after work. We had 5 or 6 or 7 gallons of syrup on the pan from the day before. Mm-hmm. We would take that. It's a flat pan. We'd take that off, clean the pan, go collect our sap, start another boil, and we had a setup where we had a good feed setup where we could have 120 gallons to feed that. We knew that if we had fire, we weren't going to run out of sap. Mm-hmm. So we could go to bed and knowing that
it'd still boil off.
Still boil off quite a bit.
So just to tell Todd and Joe a story about my dad and I. My dad had a 2x4 evaporator. I came home from my freshman year of college and was like, Dad, let's screw this. So I built a little sugar shack on top of the area he was running his evaporator and kept growing it and kept growing it. You know, then we'd do concrete. And then I found a nice little D&G 2x6 for, I think I paid $1,500 for that thing. We ran that for a while. And then I got a 2.5, so a 30-inch by 8 liter evaporator with a steam away, real nice firebox, blower. And we ran that for a while. And then I did some additions, kind of took over some rows of his garden and just kept growing it. And this is what happens. So when you have infinite mindset people that, you know, we're just going to keep going until something stops us, and then we're going to figure out a way around it, through it. And my dad lost his liberty. And that's what happened, is the freedom. We had employees in his backyard. I mean, it's a private area. He had built his little oasis out there where he had privacy, he could do what he wants, and then he had semi-trucks coming in, employers coming in, his son's cutting down trees to make room for parking. Like, he never signed up for any of that. And our relationship got really strained, and then I got really fortunate and found this building, and that really, you know, changed things. So I got to move off the property, and our relationship's better than ever now.
So I wanted more sap, so I come up and said, can we tap your trees? And Todd went along with it. I knew he didn't want to do it now. And then we went over to that place. There's a radio station there. They had 15 big maples. I went and asked that guy. He said, no problem.
Gotcha.
So it was like, Todd wasn't down for it, but he was like, he couldn't say no to me.
I gotcha. Oh, yeah, my dad would never. Yeah, I'm like you. I'm sure Todd's very much like my dad.
Yep.
Dad's pretty soft-spoken. You
know, Todd makes
he'd go along with it, and then even if he was uneasy, you know, and then eventually it got pretty heated. So
the wait and see eventually caught up to these people.
Yeah, got a little. And that's the thing. It always was. For Joe and I, it always was. Like, we couldn't understand why you wouldn't want to grow. I need to go sell more syrup so I can make more syrup. That's really what it was.
Exactly.
I wanted to sell more syrup so I can make more syrup and keep it going, you know?
It was so much fun to make. One year we made 40 gallons, and I was on the road working for a guy, and I got home on Thursday, and Todd and my son had been making syrup for 4 days straight. It's late season, and I get the yard, and Todd says, I'm done. Cooker's full of ashes, all the buckets are full, they're running. I can't keep up. I'm sick of it. And I said, I've been on the road for a week. I didn't do any of that. I'm going to make syrup. And so I dumped all the buckets out so I could start fresh. And I made syrup for 3 more days.
Wow.
It was pretty late season,
Good season.
but I like cooking.
Yeah.
So is it cooking or boiling?
We boil in Ohio. I mean, I hear cooking in Wisconsin. Do you cook?
I boil, but I call it cooking a lot.
Yeah.
But
Well, you cook meth, you boil sap. That's
true enough.